What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Everyday Sports Mania. In today's video, I'm going to be doing yet again another mock draft. And it's my mock draft 4.0, and there's not really been any changes other than one of the biggest facts. The Carolina Panthers traded for quarterback Sam Darnold to the New York Jets traded Sam Darnold to the Carolina Panthers, so I don't think the Panthers will be taking a quarterback. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let's get into it. With the first pick, the Jaguars are taking Trevor Lawrence. There's been some threat that they'll take Zach Wilson will be taken, but it's Trevor Lawrence. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is by far the best player in this class. We can all agree on that. And he may not be the best player, but he's by far the best quarterback. And the Jets at 2, the Jets are taking a QB, and it's whether they're going Justin Fields or Zach Wilson. I think it's going Zach Wilson. I think Zach Wilson's the better player. He's got very quick hands, and I think he's the best fit for the New York Jets. Next, the 49ers at pick 3. 49ers are going to go quarterback, and I think that quarterback is Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance is he's one of the best quarterbacks in this class. The reason why I'm going to give him the edge over Justin Fields is because I think he's a better passer than Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields doesn't have the greatest accuracy, and he doesn't always have find the first man open. And I think Trey Lance is pretty much just as mobile. So I think Trey Lance will go pick 3. Pick 4 is very difficult for me because it's, do the Falcons go quarterback? And I think they can. But they could trade down to pick 9, pick 10, and go defense and go Patrick Surtain. I'm going to have them go Justin Fields, though, out of Ohio State. I think it makes sense. I think the Falcons could use a quarterback to sit behind Matt Ryan for maybe 8 games, 16 games, and then come in and when Matt Ryan's somewhat done with his career, and they can bench Matt Ryan and put the rookie in. So 4 QBs go in a row. Now the Bengals at pick 5. Do the Bengals go with a tight end in Kyle Pitts? Or do they go with the offensive tackle, Penei Sewell? Or do they go wide receiver, Jamar Chase? It's very difficult, this one, but I have to give them Penei Sewell because they can go with the fun pick and go Kyle Pitts and give a weapon to Joe Burrow, or they can go the reasonable pick and go Penei Sewell because Penei Sewell, they don't have a left tackle. Jonah Williams more of a right tackle. He's a tackle, I should say, but Penei Sewell fit fine there at left tackle, and I think Joe Burrow needs protection more than anything else. At pick 6, the Miami Dolphins are going wide receiver, but I no longer think they're going Davonte Smith, despite having an insane 2020 season. I think it's either they're going Jamar Chase or they're going offensive line, but I think it's Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase, such a good wide receiver out of LSU, opted out of the season, and then he's back with he's back in that. He's going into the NFL draft. He was great with Joe Burrow, and I think as the draft's approaching, people are starting to think that he is better than Davonte Smith, which I think he is right at this current moment. Pick 7, the Detroit Lions. This one's tough because they need a wide receiver. They don't really have any wide receivers. Jalen Waddle would be a good pick. And then, of course, you have the fact that they could go defense. They could go Micah Parsons. I don't think Micah Parsons is a good pickup right now. And then I don't think there's really an edge rusher for them to go right here. So I'm going to have them go with the wide receiver, Jalen Waddle out of Alabama. He kind of missed the season, banged up with injuries, but he was amazing with Tua Tagovailoa in 2020. And he just has great footwork. He's a great route runner. I think he's a lot like Davante Adams. So I think Jalen Waddle will go to the Detroit Lions. He'll probably be like a Justin Jefferson, fill in immediately, but be the wide receiver 2, maybe even 1. So the Panthers at pick 8, it's really, do they go Kyle Pitts or do they go Patrick Surtain? Which is very tough. But I'm going to have them go Patrick Surtain for now because I think they need corner very bad. Dante Jackson, He's great. Donte Jackson is a speedster, very good. But they don't have anyone else other than Donte Jackson, who they have. Troy Pride, Trey Boston can kind of play corner. I think Patrick Surtain would be a great fit for them at pick 8. And since they address the QB need, I don't think they need to go tight end. I think Ian Thomas will be fine for the year. And then maybe next year, or maybe in the second round, they go like Hunter Long, Pat Freiermuth, Pat Freiermuth, Hunter Long, maybe in Brevin Jordan. But Patrick Surtain's the pick 9. The Broncos, I think, got to go with Mac Jones out of Alabama. The reason why I have them going Mac Jones is because they addressed the corner need in free agency. They brought in Kyle Fuller, they brought in Ronald Darby, and of course they still got Bryce Callahan. I believe they still have Bryce Callahan. I don't know. He may be on another team. So I think they addressed the corner need, and that was really the biggest need, other than quarterback. And I think they still could use an edge rusher because I think Von Miller's out of his prime. I think he's injury prone. So I think Mac Jones is the pickup right here. I don't think Drew Lock's it. I think Drew Lock is very overrated. And I think after this season, people are finally realizing Drew Lock isn't good like he was at Missouri. Pick 10, Cowboys. I think it's growing on people that it's naturally going to be Rashawn Slater. I mean, they need an offensive tackle. They're Lael Collins and Tyron Smith. There's no guaranteed either one of them are going to be healthy, and if they are, then they can play Slater on the outside, and then they put Slater on the outside, and then they put Collins at guard or left guard or center. I don't know, but I think Slater's a good pickup right there. Now, pick 11, the New York Giants. I don't think they need wide receiver. I don't think they're going to go Davonte Smith. So, I think they could go Evan Ingram, but they did sign, not Evan Ingram, Kyle Pitts, but they did sign, of course, we all know they did sign Kyle Rudolph. So, I don't think they're going to go with a tight end, and I don't think they go wide receiver because of the Kenny Golladay signing. So, I think the pick's got to be defense. I mean, what could they go? Offensive tackle? I don't think they're reaching on Darisaw. Guard, they could go Elijah Vera Tucker. And then, of course, there's still Micah Parsons and Jamin Davis and JOK. But I'm going to actually have them go with Elijah Vera Tucker out of USC. I think they need an interior offensive lineman, and I think Will Hernandez is good. They lost Kevin Zeitler to the Ravens, so I think he could fill in Kevin Zeitler's role, and then they could have Thomas, and then Will Hernandez, and then they can play Elijah Vera Tucker at right guard, and then Solder they can play. I don't know who their center is, but I think that'd be a good offensive line. The Eagles at pick 12 is very difficult because what do they go? I don't think they're going to reach on Bateman, or there's Davonte Smith. But do they go tight end? Kyle Pitts is still on the board. I think they go, Okay, this is difficult because, Davonte Smith is still on the board. But I'm not going to have them go Davonte Smith. I'm going to have them go Kyle Pitts. Or do I? Yeah, I'm going to have them go Kyle Pitts. All right, the reason why I'm having them go Kyle Pitts is because I think Zach Ertz is he's not good anymore. I think he's been dealing with injuries. He's good, but he's dealing with injuries, and I think Dallas Goedert's taking his space. Kyle Pitts is more than a tight end, and if you think Kyle Pitts is just a tight end, you're wrong. They could play Kyle Pitts in the slot as a slot wide receiver. They could even move Kyle Pitts to a wide receiver, and he could just bully corners. So I think it wouldn't really be a pick, just let's go tight end and have him be a backup. But it definitely would factor in the fact that he can play multiple positions on offense. So, like Travis Kelce, pick 13, the Chargers brought in Corey Linsley. They got Brian Bulaga. They got a good offensive line, but I still think they're missing pieces on the line. And I think Christian Darrisaw could be a good fit because they could play him at left tackle. I think they need to protect Herbert. I think Herbert's the same situation that Josh Allen was in 2018. He didn't have help. He had okay receivers. He had Beasley Brown and Zay Jones, but his line wasn't good and his defense was just kind of there. So I think if you give Herbert help, He's going to be able to be like a lot like Josh Allen. So Darisaw can protect him. Pick 14, the Vikings would go Elijah Vera Tucker if he was on the board. So now that they can't get Tucker, where do they go with this pick? And I think a good pick right here would be corner. Because, of course, you look at corner, you got Caleb Farley, Greg Newsome, J.C. Horn. I don't think Caleb Farley is going to be around here, though. So I'm going to actually have them go with – this is tough. I don't think they're going to go corner because of the fact – I think they could go corner. Yeah, I'm going to have them go corner. J.C. Horn. My reasoning behind this is because I don't think Patrick Peterson is a true number one corner, okay? He's just not. I mean, they don't have a true corner number one. I'm not saying Horn will be that, but J.C. Horn will be able to be a corner who can play the slot, and he'll be able to be good for them, and he can fill in once Patrick Peterson retires. So pick 15, the Patriots on the board. I think the Patriots aren't going to go I don't think they're going to go linebacker because they brought in Raekwon McMillan and they still have Jawan Bentley. They also have Dante Hightower returning, even though as a Patriots fan, I would love to go Micah Parsons. I think the better pick is Davonte Smith. Now, Davonte Smith, if he's on the board, I'm being thrilled. Okay, Davonte Smith is a great wide receiver out of Alabama, broke the touchdown record, won the Heisman. He did it all this year. I just don't know if he's athletically built to be. I mean, he's 6'1", 170, and he runs a 4.4. So I don't think he's athletically built to as good as Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase has got the size. Waddle's got the footwork and route running. That's why I think they're better. But Smith, he had 20 touchdowns, and he had 20 touchdowns. All right, I think Smith is going to be a great pick, and you can build around them. I mean, we could trade N'Keal Harry, and then we could have Aguilar, Bourne, him, and of course Jacoby Myers, and that would be a good receiving core. Pick 16, Cardinals. I always have them go J.C. Horn, but now J.C. Horn isn't on the board, so I think they got to go linebacker. I don't think Jordan Hicks is it. And I think Isaiah Simmons is a better safety than a linebacker, but he can play in and out. So I'm going to actually have them go Micah Parsons out of Penn State. I like this pick because I think Parsons would fill in well. He could replace Jordan Hicks, and him and Simmons would be a great linebacker core together. I think it would be good. And Micah Parsons, he's fallen to 16. I think that's a good deal. Raiders at 17, they're still going to get JOK. I have them go JOK almost every single mock draft, and a lot like the Cardinals. They just don't have a defense, all right? They need to help at the defense, and they got to bring in linebackers, so I think JOK would be good. Now pick 18. I think the Dolphins is tough because they could go Barmore, and they could go running back. Wide receivers totally not off the board. So I'm going to actually have them go Christian Barmore out of Alabama. I think he'd be a great defensive lineman, and they don't really have any run stoppers if you look at it. I mean, they lost Kyle Van Noy, they lost Godchow. They don't really have that good of a front seven. I think Christian Barmore could fill in immediately, and he would be a great fit. Pick 19, the Washington football team. Everyone has them go a quarterback, but why would they go a quarterback? They just signed Heineke and they just signed Fitzpatrick. I think that would be much more productive if they're reaching for Kellen Mond or trading up for Mac Jones. So I don't think that makes sense. I think they got to build around the quarterback they have right now. And one way doing that is by to go on offense because they don't have a receiving core. They brought in Curtis Samuel and Terry McLaurin, but that doesn't give them a insane receiving core. They still need a third option. So this could be like the Dallas Cowboys pick. We all remember last year. We all know they got Gallup and they got Gallup, and then they got Cooper, and then they brought in CeeDee Lamb by shock. Why not the Washington football team do that? The Washington football team would be smart to do that, and they bring in a guy like Rashad Bateman. They could have the receiving core you play McLaurin at the 1, Samuel at the 2, and then Bateman at the 3, and then you can have Logan Thomas at tight end and then Gibson at running back. I think it's a great offense, and then their offensive line I think is just fine. The Bears at 20. The Bears are a disaster. I mean, they brought in Andy Dalton. Oh my gosh, the Bears are awful. The Bears, I mean, I don't think they need defense. I mean, we all know right here, defensive tackle. Who they got? Akeem Hicks. Edge rushers, Khalil Mack. Linebacker, Roquan Smith. Corner, they have Jalen Johnson. They lost Kyle Fuller. Safety, Eddie Jackson. I don't think it makes sense for them to go defense. They just have a horrible offense. Don't think they need running back because we all know they got Montgomery. Quarterback they could use, but they're not going to reach at pick 20 to go with Kellen Mond. I think it's receiver or it's offensive line. Tight end I'm not opposed to either, but I'm going to actually have them go offensive tackle. But people have them go Tevin Jenkins. I think that's possible. And I don't think they go center. But I think the pickup right here is Tevin Jenkins. Just like Mel Kiper's mock draft. Oh, I didn't click on it. Tevin Jenkins, he's 6'6", 300 pounds. He's a good offensive lineman. And the Bears, fine. You can roll with Andy Dalton, even though I think that Nick Foles is a lot better than Andy Dalton. You can roll with Andy Dalton. But you need someone to protect Andy Dalton. And just put in weapons is not going to help. They got Robinson, they got Mooney, they got Anthony Miller, they got Taylor Gabriel. That's a fine receiving core. They got Montgomery. They have the weapons. They just need an offensive line. Tevin Jenkins will do that. Pick 21, the Colts. I think the Colts need to go corner right here. I think corner is a big need, and I think they're going to go Greg Newsome at a Northwestern. I like this guy, and I think he would be a great fit. He would fit in well with, of course, Kenny Moore and Rocky Sin. I don't think either one of them is a number one corner. Bringing in a guy like Greg Newsome, who could be a number two corner for in the future, and then they play him 2-3 years from now, he's a starting corner. I think it would be a good fit. Greg Newsome can play for the Colts. And now pick 22, the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans, I don't think need front seven as bad as people say they do. I don't know if they extended Clowney, but they still got Harold Landry, Rashad Evans. But it wouldn't hurt to go edge. It really wouldn't. And why not go Kwity Paye out of Michigan? Kwity Paye really has fallen in mock drafts lately, and I don't know why. He hasn't played it. Back in the middle of February, people would have Kwity Paye up here going 9, maybe even 4. But now Kwity Paye, I mean, he's fallen back to the end of the first round. But I think Kwity Paye is a great pickup right there for the Tennessee Titans. You can play him at edge, play him at linebacker, play him in right end, anything like that. The Jets at 23. Do the Jets package themselves with a running back and they bring in the quarterback and they bring in the running back, or do they go defense? They could go wide receiver, but I don't think if they're going to go wide receiver, people are going to be shocked by this. I don't think they go Tony or Marshall. I think they go Elijah Moore, but they're not going to do that. So I think they have to go with I think it would be best if they go. I think they could go. You're looking in the second round. I think that in the second round they could go with a guy like Landon Dickerson or maybe even Samuel Cosme if he's there. But for now, I think they got to go running back, and that's Najee Harris out of Bama. Najee Harris, he's a big truck. He can truck people. He can run through people. He can juke people out, and he can catch the ball. I think he's a little bit more. I think he's a version like I think he's a mix of like a Derrick Henry, James White, and Saquon Barkley all morphed into one player. I think he would be great with the Jets. And then you bring in, Frank Gore is just not the guy. You bring in Zach Wilson and then Najee Harris. I think it would be a transformed offense. 24, the Steelers, it's up to them. The Steelers could go anyone. They got a huge variety. They could go ETN. They could go O-line. I don't think they're going to reach on any O-lineman, and if they do, I think it would be a guy like, where is he? I don't know where he is. Yeah, Dylan Radunz. But I think he would be their guy. But I don't think they're going to reach on that, so I think they will go with a running back. Because it doesn't seem like they're sold on James Conner. Go watch my Steelers video. So I think I'm gonna have them go Travis Etienne, two running backs back to back, and I think Benny Snell's not the guy, and I think they believe in Benny Snell, but to me, Benny Snell's not the guy. To them, James Conner's not the guy. So I think it's best if they bring in a receiving back like Travis Etienne, 25, the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars got to fill in that tackle need, and I think that's the biggest thing. They could go Cosme, Leatherwood, Dylan Radunes. I really like Dylan Radunes, so I'm gonna actually have him go with Dylan Radunes. They don't really have an outside offensive line. They got Cam Robinson. I don't really think that's a good offensive line though. They got Linder and inside at center, so I don't think it's awful. But I think they're better going tackle, and I think tackle they could protect Trevor Lawrence, and that's their biggest priority. 26, the Browns. I had them going safety and corner, Trevor Merrick, we all know, but I don't have them going that anymore because I know that they brought in Troy Hill and they brought in John Johnson. They already have Denzel Ward. They got Terrace Marshall. Or I think that's his name, Terrence Mitchell. Terrence Mitchell. Um, so I think the pick's got to be defense because I think they're good on offensive line. It's the question is who. I think they could go in D line. They got built in the lab. Myles Garrett, Aziz Ojulari, I really like, and then linebacker, of course, Jamin Davis. But I'm gonna actually have them go Aziz Ojulari out of Georgia. I think he'd be able to play in the interior offensive line, not D tackle, but probably left end. You can play him at left end, Garrett at right end, and then you play Richardson up the middle, and then maybe Vernon at linebacker. So I think it would be a great defense if you add him. Pick 27, the Ravens got to go receiver, but they're not. I think they could go Terrence Marshall, but I don't know if that's going to help them so much, but yeah, why not? Terrence Marshall out of LSU. I think it's a good pick right here. I think he was great, but I don't think they would take Elijah Moore. I really like Elijah Moore, and I think he definitely deserves to be a first round wide receiver. But I have them going Terrace Marshall. 28, the Saints. People are going to be like, oh, they're going quarterback. They're not going quarterback. I mean, there's no real quarterback they could go right here. I think they go Jamin Davis out of Kentucky. This guy is so underrated. I mean, people are forgetting that this guy exists. They don't really have a linebacker game. I know they have Demario Davis, but Demario Davis is getting up there in age, and I don't think he's a middle linebacker. They play him as a middle linebacker. I think he's an outside linebacker, but that's just me. I think Jamin Davis is a good player, and that's why I'm going to have them go with linebacker. The linebacker out of Kentucky, pick 28, 29, the Green Bay Packers are going to go either receiver, but I don't think they're going to take Tony. I think they got to go corner right here. And I'm going to have them go Caleb Farley out of Virginia Tech. Weeks and weeks ago, we had Caleb Farley up here, but he's really taken a drop. But I think Caleb Farley definitely would be a good pick. We all know what happened with Kevin King in the NFC Championship, and then they got Jair, so I think it would be a good pick. Farley could eventually move up to their number 2 corner, and let's say Jair Alexander leaves next season to free agency, they would definitely want a replacement. Pick 30, the Buffalo Bills. I think they need to go defense. And if they don't go defense, they got to go O-line. I don't think they go any of these guys. I think if they go they go edge, I think it's Rusu. But I'm gonna have them go with an offensive lineman, and I think it's an outside offensive lineman. Whether if it's, I mean, Wyatt Davis wouldn't be awful, Creed Humphrey wouldn't be bad, but I have them going Samuel Cosme out of Texas. I think it's a great pickup right there. I think Cosme was great at Texas, and Cosme could fill in great. He could be the left tackle for them, and he could protect Josh Allen because Josh Allen, they got a good defense. And then they got Stephon Diggs, Beasley, Gabriel Davis, Emmanuel Sanders. It's a good receiving core, and then Dawson Knox isn't too bad. So I think Samuel Cosme is a good pickup right there. I don't really like the fact of them going running back, and if they do, I think it will be Javonte Williams or Michael Carter in a late round. Okay, so now pick 31, the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs could go anything right here, but I think the pick's got to be offensive line after that Super Bowl. It's got to be offensive line after that Super Bowl. I know they brought in Tooney, but they cut Schwartz and they cut Eric Fisher. Those are two of the top offensive tackles in the NFL. I think it was stupid of them to cut them. So I don't think they're gonna go offensive. I mean, I think they could use offensive tackle, but yeah, I'm gonna have them go offensive tackle, and I'm gonna have them go Alex Leatherwood out of Alabama. The reason why is because we all know they cut those big tackles, and that was bad. Because I know Schwartz and they're both getting up there in age, but they are still serviceable. We see Andrew Whitworth going into his late 30s playing. 33 is not a bad age for an O lineman, and I think it's dumb overpaying for Joe Tooney only to cut your two other linemen. Pick 32, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, I think they're good on court, and I think they're good. Of course, I think they're good on offense. If they go offense, I think it's wide receiver. But why not stack up that defense to scare more teams? They've had games this year where they didn't look good defensively. One being the Saints game in Week 8, I think. So I don't think they need to go secondary unless they want to go corner, and if Fetu Melifonu wouldn't be bad. And then linebacker Zavine Collins, very good. And I think that could be a possibility. But I think the pick's got to be Ifetu Melifonu. And the reason why I have them go in that is because, of course, the fact that they got Carlton Davis, they got Jamel Dean, they got Sean Murphy Bunton, but I don't think that's a great corner core. So I think they could develop Melafen. I'm not saying his name. They could develop him into a good superstar corner, and he could be their number one corner very shortly. Jamel Dean's getting up there in age. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.